Nothing has humbled me more as an adult than trying to travel with a Nigerian passport. The visa denials, the suspicious stares, the airport interrogation. Honestly, traveling as a Nigerian feels like an Olympic sport. But somehow, I am finding a way. Growing up, being an artist wasn't exactly the career African parents dream about for their kids, but for me, there couldn't be another option. My name is Eduvier, and my work is at the intersection of film and photography. Being part of projects that travel internationally has been my golden ticket to the world. That's how this series was born, Traveling the World with my Nigerian passport. Episode 1, France. My mom would tell me stories about her trips to Paris, the lights, the fashion, the energy of the city, and every time she talked about it, she made it sound like this magical place just floating somewhere above the rest of the world. So from my childhood, Paris became this dream destination for me, a place I couldn't wait to see with my very own eyes. But my journey to France didn't start in Paris. It started in a city called Clermont Ferrand. I was in France because of a film I worked on as the colorist called Obi is a Boy. It was screening at the Clermont Ferrand International Film Festival, one of the biggest short film festivals in the world. And honestly, nothing prepared me for how peaceful the city was. Clermont is calm, it's walkable, it's the kind of place where you can literally feel your brain slow down just by stepping outside. Every corner looks like it was painted. Every street feels like it has its own soundtrack, and being there as a filmmaker, not just a tourist, made it even more special. At the festival, I got to see our film on the big screen, and I tell you, I never get used to it. There's something about seeing a look I crafted on the big screen, exactly as I intended, yet better than I have ever seen it. Getting to experience this alongside my friends and collaborators, Blessing and Dika, was really special. Festival activities include talking to other filmmakers, listening to panels, jumping between screenings, and of course, enjoying the festival nightlife. Because what's a film festival without a little bit of chaos, bad dancing, and meeting strangers who somehow become your friends by midnight? After a few days of filming, exploring, and networking, my childhood dream was finally calling. So I packed my bags, grabbed my camera, and hopped on a train from Clermont. And this is where Paris enters the story. The soft whistle of the train, the French countryside sliding past the window, my excitement building with every passing moment. This was the moment I have been waiting for since I was a kid, listening to my mom's stories. If you're enjoying the video so far, kindly subscribe so I can keep making these amazing videos. When I finally arrived in Paris, the first thing I did was settle into my Airbnb. It was this tiny but really cute apartment, motorized blinds, a surprisingly nice view, and a sofa bed that absolutely refused to fold no matter how hard I tried. The place quickly felt like home, and it was perfect for my stay. It wasn't right in the city center, so the metro quickly became my best friend. That made it feel even more like the Paris I imagined as a kid. My first night in Paris was very fun. I went to this party called Trendy Paris, and listen, Lagos nightlife did not prepare me for this. The fashion, the energy, the dancing, nobody was acting too cool. Everyone was there for a good time and they meant it. I even got to link up with a friend I met a few months earlier in Cotonou. The headliner was a DJ called Shiva, and she definitely brought a good time with her. By the time the night was over, I remember thinking, if this was my only night in Paris, I wouldn't even be mad. Over the next few days, I explored the city with my cameras in hand, capturing everything I could. The architecture, the people, the culture. Paris is one of those cities where every street feels like its own scene in a movie. And the food? Listen, I fell in love with crepes in a way I didn't expect. But beyond the visuals and the food, something deeper hit me. Paris feels like a city that breeds art. Everywhere you turn, there's creativity. On the streets, in the shops, in the way people dress, in the conversations you overhear. As an African artist, experiencing that for the first time was emotional. It made me fall in love with the idea of creating again. One of the highlights of the trip was visiting the Louvre. I had a great time exploring art and history there, but what made it really special was knowing my mom was there back in 2005. Suddenly, standing there myself, it felt like I had stepped into a story that began long before I arrived. I didn't have time to explore everything, but I made sure to see a few sections that had me curious. Egyptian antiquities, Greek antiquities, and the galleries of French and Italian paintings. Seeing the Mona Lisa in person was surreal. Not just the painting itself, but watching the crowd around it, the eagerness, the excitement. It was almost a performance on its own. Outside the Louvre, my camera stayed busy. I shot cruise boats drifting near the Eiffel Tower, people wandering through the streets, thrift stores tucked into the corners, and architecture that felt like it was sketched by a poet. One area that really stood out to me was La Maria. It's full of concept stores and small exhibitions. Think a mix of modern fashion and old world charm. My friend took me to a store called Drille de Monsieur. It was a very nice looking store, but the story behind it caught me even more. The founders weren't even from Paris, yet they somehow made it into the Paris Fashion Week with a line boldly named, "Not from Paris, Madame." The idea that you could come from anywhere, create something honest, and still be seen in the fashion capital of the world, that hit me deeply. As someone creating from Africa, it was a reminder that your origins aren't a limitation, they're a signature. I spent a lot of time walking the city. Photo walks were basically my daily routine. I captured the Notre Dame, explored neighborhoods, and visited the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. It was so peaceful. There's something about standing at the top, looking at the city stretched out beneath you, that makes you feel small, but in the best way possible. As my trip came to an end, I realized how much this experience had shifted something in me. Paris wasn't just a destination, it was a reminder of why I create, why I tell stories, why film and photography matter to me. Being there, feeling the city's heartbeat, feeling how deeply people valued art, it made me dream bigger. And as someone who's working with a Nigerian passport, that feeling meant everything. If you stayed to this point, thank you, you're a real one. Comment lemons below so I know you're a real one. And let people just wonder why there's so many lemons in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts. I'll see you in episode 2.